Hey everybody, welcome to the newest episode of The Rect Room. The Rect Room. Just like cuddling after sex, we're doing it to make you happy. So today, boys, we've got a bit of a Canadian topic going on. Of course, with me as always, I'm Stephen Sunshine Spock. We got Mr. Chase Barraza.
Hey there.
Mr. Josh Massier.
What's going on, boys?
And okay, so let's just get into it right now. Josh, you wanted to talk about, apparently, there is a very Canadian topic going on. There's something that is stirring the heart of the Canadian in you, and it's that America is talking about making poutine kind of like a regular thing down there.
That's what the news articles are telling me.
Okay, well, explain this to me. Like, are you talking like they're going to start serving it everywhere?
Apparently, it's supposed to be like it's being a rising thing on menus at restaurants across the states. And,
well, you can't blame them for that. It's delicious.
It is, but part of me thinks that a lot of it is just we kind of talked about this before the podcast. How are they going to make it the way we make it, like traditionally, or are they going to do what they did with the Caesar, where they didn't have Clamato juice, and then they used tomato juice and call it a Bloody Mary, and it's disgusting.
Here's what they're going to do. They're going to take their white gravy. They're going to take some cheese slices and they're going to grab some McDonald's fries and they're going to call it a poutine. And I find this hilarious. They pick the most unhealthy Canadian food that you can think of and adopt it, going, we're going to make this American.
Yeah. It's like little Debbie's.
I'm surprised it's not American. It's so unhealthy. But, well, okay, I agree with you guys that, yes, there are probably going to be some tragic interpretations of poutine, especially in a foreign country, right? But I think there will be, because
you just refer
McDonald's
to the state
already,
as foreign
right?
country.
What's that?
Foreign as fuck.
America's a foreign country. Americans are technically foreigners to me.
They are.
I think it's pretty cool that they're adopting a Canadian thing. Like the Caesar was invented in Calgary, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, well,
80s.
I'm
at an Italian restaurant, and
I can't blame them for wanting poutine. It makes sense to me as a Canadian. I'm just saying there's going to be some bad ones, but I think the smart restaurant owners in the States are going to say, okay, look, it's this, and this, and then you can play with it. Maybe like, add some bacon, add some chicken. There's a couple of things you could do with it, but most people are going to stick to.
And then pretty soon they're going to have potato chips that are poutine flavored.
Yeah, I can honestly see Little Bobby's Burger Shack just absolutely making an abortion of a fucking poutine, where it is like bacon grease,
the abortion
that sounds fried French fries with just some absurd amount of fucking cheese. And fuck me.
Here's a question for you boys. If we're all getting kind of like picky about poutine, what's the key ingredient in poutine? You got fries, you got gravy, you got cheese. What is of the three the like pinnacle, that top of that pyramid?
Here's cheese the thing. No. It's triangle. You need all 3 points.
You do. You need all three, but I'm saying what's like, because I've had a lot of good poutines in my time. They're decent, but when one stands out, it's because of one thing for me. And I'm asking you, what is it for you guys? Is it the fries, like really good fries, really good gravy,
proper cheese curds,
great cheese?
I have to say it has to go. Fries are the bottom level because you can use almost any kind of fry. Followed up by gravy, followed up by cheese. Cheese is at the top, I think. Okay,
Josh, how does your pyramid stack?
Pretty much the same way, but they have to use actual cheese curds and not like shredded cheese. Like I said, trying to say before, like Little Debbie's making a poutine kit or something like that. Like that's probably what's going to happen.
Hungry man dinner makes poutine. I would almost agree with you guys, but I got to say it's gravy for me. Gravy is at the top of that list. Then fries, and then cheese. And it's not because cheese isn't important, but it's pretty easy to get cheese right. It comes in the package.
Let me ask you this, Sunshine. Do you make your own homemade ones?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you use? What do you do? What's your style?
Well, generally, if I'm like looking to make them quick, it's like McCain super fry, any kind of real store-bought fry. I prefer crinkle cut, but I don't mind a straight. But it's gravy is the way to go. And you can get some Clubhouse gravies and you make them with like actual beef stock. It's pretty great. Instead of water, you make beef with beef stock. And then the cheese curds, the only thing I have about cheese curds is it has to be cheese curds. I agree with you on that. But I find that in the bag, they come pretty big. Like they're like golf ball size a lot of the time. And I just prefer to break them up because in that way, when you pour the gravy over the entire thing, like you should, don't just pour it in the middle. You pour it over the whole thing. Each curd should be pretty stringy and melty. Like I don't like
you can't have it. So I've stepped it up a little bit because we do poutine at home too. Air fryer.
Okay.
That's the way to go.
But you said fries are kind of the bottom basement, right? It is good. It's good when you have good fries.
When you're buying from a store, like a restaurant, fries are on the bottom. When you're making them at home, you have to get everything right. I mean, you can buy cheese curds from Walmart. You can buy canned gravy. You can buy packaged gravy. You can buy whatever. That's not hard. But making your fries crispy so that they're not just soggy, half frozen pieces of shit. That's the key when you're making homemade. Now, where's your favorite place to get poutine?
Coney Island, baby.
Never had.
But anyway, Josh, what were you going to say? You were going to say you're kind of like how you put it together?
Yeah. So I usually have, as Chase does, air fryer. Air fryer is like the best weapon in the kitchen by far now.
Oh, yeah. Especially for wings.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It doesn't help with making cereal.
Yeah.
I find I don't.
I'll usually
cut up a pear with it.
I usually get some classic cheese curds from the co-op, and
then
the squeaky cheese, and then I usually just get your typical gravy mix, but I use turkey gravy. Is what I think tastes best.
Turkey gravy can be done real good.
But also my add-on is because I also have a wood pellet grill and I absolutely adore that thing. I don't
know if wood pellets would taste good with it.
You use it to cook.
You smoke your poutine?
I put chicken on there and I put blackened seasoning on a chicken on the smoker.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've had blackened chicken.
That's before. A totally acceptable tweak.
And then I put
some meat on it.
I put little tiny chunks of blackened chicken in there, and
yeah, I did a 16-hour brisket, and I actually took some of that the one day and did a bit of brisket poutine. Holy shit! You want to talk?
It's a game changer, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
So now, what you're saying, Chase, what is your favorite place to get one?
Okay, I haven't had Coney Island. I hear Coney Island is the place for fucking.
Gotta go to Coney Island, man. If you're talking poutines,
but I have to say, A&W.
What?
Oh,
A&W has really stepped up their game lately. I have noticed that. Yeah. Like it's still fast food, but it really kind of
not really
a level. Like
not really a fan of powdered gravy, but I do like Leopold's Tavern makes really good.
Leo's a good place. Leo's and Vic's Tavern. Those two are
same owners.
Have you ever had their punch bowl of fucking poutine?
That's a $50 poutine.
Yes. Well, see, I've never done it, and it's not that it doesn't.
It's
sound
actually
good.
A fishbowl.
And where's that at?
Leo's. Right? They'll make literally. It's like a 3 pound? Like
hey, Leo,
I don't know.
It's an actual.
Yeah, it's like a table-sized poutine. But here's the thing: I'm always worried about if I'm going to order it. It's that would mean that there'd have to be a lot of gravy, and some of the things at the bottom are sitting in gravy the whole time. That you don't want to eat cold poutine. Poutine's something you got to eat fresh. Yeah. So would it be really soggy at the end? Because I've never ordered it.
Of course it would be.
Just hammer it as fast as
that's why I don't think I'd ever do it.
Have you ever?
It sounds good on paper, but just not really in practice.
Have you ever ate a poutine and had a dry plate at the bottom?
No.
Exactly.
No, but I'm just saying. You shouldn't soak because eventually the potatoes kind of like absorb the gravy, and then they're just like the other day. I had a place that sent. They made poutine. It was the first time I was ordering from it. I can't remember what it was called, but they made their poutine, which they didn't specify in the menu, with tater tots.
Oh,
and like again, it sounds like a good idea. Does not work in practice because it was basically just soggy tater tots with cheese on.
So hear me out on this and try not to throw up. It's making a poutine.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Mix it up and throw it in a blender. Blend that all up and use that as topping for something.
What? Josh, go fucking soak your head, you nut. That's disgusting.
I was gonna say that Sunshine has the culinary skills of a 2-year-old, but goddamn, that's bordering
I
insanity.
can cook. I'm a damn good cook. But no, blending, a poutine shake. No, thank you, sir.
As long as anything that says put in for 2
Protein
minutes.
powder in there, and you have the most Canadian workout drink ever.
I don't like fusion dining, and that's pretty much fusion. You're just melting it all into one pot. Ugh.
Oh, sweet Jesus Christ. And
Whatever,
what the Americans are going to fucking do.
When Sunshine cooks, it's put in for 2 minutes and stir a bit and put in for another 2 minutes.
No, dude, that's how I have sex. Okay. You're mixing up the two. I'm actually very good at cooking, but that's my lovemaking manual. Yeah. Just put it in for 2 minutes, take it out and stir, put it in for another 2 minutes, ready to serve.
So do you do most of the cooking at your house there, Sunshine?
I do. I do a lot. I'm actually don't get me wrong. I'm a guy. And I definitely love a microwave or a pizza you just throw in the oven and, fast food. But if I'm making stuff like tonight, I made, seasoned chicken and rice and veggies chopped up into it and stuff like that.
What's, were you guys ever self-taught or did you take any type of cooking classes?
My mom is a chef and a half, and she taught all of her boys growing up that, at least to be functional. Like I can make some wicked chocolate.
I am completely self-taught. I did YouTube tutorials, everything. I was never really taught how to cook. It was
Pasca's a big influence on my smoking life.
Oh, yeah.
He'll get in on one of our podcasts here soon, but
yeah, Mike is quite the man.
Oh, he's a chef and a half, isn't he? Especially around the barbecue.
If our listeners want to know anything about smoking any kind of meat, cheese, anything, Pasca, he's going to be the guy to ask. We'll have a whole podcast of him smoking meat for us and us just getting fat.
I'm already
sounds like a Pornhub video.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
Wherever we get the hits.
You can also find that on our other podcast channel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's after dark, right?
Yeah.
It's the sun's still up. Kids might watch this. This is on YouTube.
So going back to it, I can see the Americans taking to this briefly and then completely fist fucking it.
I think there's some that'll do good. There's some that'll do really bad, but it's nice to see that they've acknowledged that Poutine is great. And, not just Canadians know that now. It's kind of internationally known that Poutine is delicious, even if you're from.
I don't care if you're from Quebec or not. Ours is still better. Nice try.
Hit that burn neck.
All right, boys. Well, since we're talking about poutine, we can talk about, I think I'd have poutine at my last meal. And that brings us into the second wind, which is about a prisoner who died in prison. He got a death sentence, but not quite the way you'd think. He didn't get it for his crimes. There's a prisoner in Ohio that recently, he died 5 times while in prison, and they revived him each time. And he is trying to make the case now that technically his life sentence has been served. And why you got to admire the guy's attitude, doesn't look like it's turning out real well for him. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think he should get off on that loophole?
He served it 5 times, of course.
He really did.
I mean, if he died 5 times, and I think it was something like sepsis, wasn't it? Or
yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was. He just got sick. He became ill. He became septic, and his organs were just shutting down. And then they had to revive him. Paddles, and I think they used an adrenaline shot in his heart as well. But at the end of the day, his heart did stop for a significant amount of time, 5 times.
So now here's my question. Here's my question. If the dude was getting put to death, why shouldn't he have a DNR at that point?
No, he wasn't being put to death. He was just in jail for life. He had a life sentence. He was a burglar. He had robbed some places. He wasn't in for like murder or anything truly heinous. He was just in for don't get me wrong, robbery's not a good crime.
I thought he was in for
a life sentence. And I believe in the States life is 50 years, is it not?
Yeah, so he I think it's 25. I'm not sure.
It's Canada's
Well,
25.
yeah, Canada, I think it's 25,
States
but in
it's 50.
States, it's 50.
Okay, so then chances are he was going to die in there anyway. You just
Yes.
screwed your taxpayers. You should let him go and be like, yeah, we fucked you. Sorry.
I don't know. I
Well,
think
yeah.
We brought him back so that you guys can keep paying for this shit.
I'll give it to him that it's very creative. I'll give him my A+ on creativity on his part, but I'm going to give him a solid C-
blame the guy for trying.
A solid C- on logical thinking.
It's an interesting thing, and I think the reason it made news was because nobody had ever really tried that before. And obviously, you know, prisoners have died in prison and been brought back, you know, medical attention's been needed. I'm sure this technical situation has happened before, but nobody ever thought to say, you know what, technically I served my sentence because it said until life. Well, I gave my life, but now I'm back. Well, but here's the question. If he did get out, say for some reason the judge gave him that, they said, all right, you got the system, you fooled us. Do they now have to like give him a new identity? You know, is he now a new person because technically that person died in prison?
That's a complete reset on life.
Yeah,
you hit the breaker.
They give him a new birth certificate. He's now technically an infant because he's only been alive for a day and a half.
Yeah.
Is he now a ward of the state? Like, do they got to put him in like a group home?
So if he had like a 401k, does he leave it to himself at that point?
Oh, well, see, now that would imply, I think if he did leave it to himself, that would imply some forethought, and they'd probably throw out him getting out of jail because they'd be like, you planned this shit.
There's got to be
there have been people who've tried to kill themselves to get out of jail.
There's got to be some underlying things that have been made up in case something like that happens. There's got to be something on paper. Well,
don't get me wrong. The judge threw the case out immediately. He said, no, you're alive right now. You're the same person. You had a medical episode, which is, you know, it's never going to get him out. He did put forth the effort to like get his lawyer to make the case. They appealed everything. Like it's never going to actually get him out. It's just a really funny way to look at it and a very creative way to look at the law, right?
I think it's hilarious so that they'll probably have to look at their wording now and write something up. There is some lawmaker now at their desk going, this motherfucker, now I have to go through absolutely everything and bullet point absolutely everything that he could have gotten off.
There's 6 months out of somebody's life right now. And then they got to bring that to Bill and have it passed in or whatever they call it.
It'll get chewed up in the political machine, but
it comes down to interpretation, right? If you say you're spending life in prison, and he said, okay, I spent my life in prison, I died, I'm back.
Yeah.
Is this like Mario? Do you get 3? Does it count as
get out of jail free card for Monopoly? Just give that to him. Be like, oh, well, you know, what can you do?
Honestly, I think it's hilarious so that he, one, actually thought that he could make this happen, and two, that a judge even entertained the fact of having to say, we're throwing this out. He should have laughed at it and been like, you're fucking crazy, get back in your cell.
Well, that's ultimately what happened. But yeah, he had to entertain, because like I said, like when guys are in prison, like I watch a lot of these like prison shows on A&E and whatnot, and you see like they are bored out of their minds most of the time, and they've got nothing else to do. A lot of them go to they have like legal libraries in a lot of prisons. And these guys, even though, you know, maybe they didn't go to college and they didn't study the law until they got there, but if they're there for 30 years, they can become quite versed in how the law works. And I'm sure that guy, he's 50 something years old. He's probably been there quite a while, and he's got nothing to do but read legal documents. And he probably concocted this after a while and might have even tried to cause himself, you know, to get ill in order to have that chance to just make the case.
Isn't that crazy how they can educate, you know, and an inmate can educate themselves and come out of prison smarter than people who have gone to university or college, or, you know, it's, yeah.
I still wouldn't go to prison just to get an education.
No, fuck no.
Not, it's not worth it. I mean,
or a workout program either.
I don't know.
Okay.
If you want a very strict workout program, a very good education.
You get ripped in prison.
Think of it this way. You get free room and board, you get free education, or you take 10 years and pay back a student loan. What if you only have a 1-year sentence and you take a 10-month course?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Actually, people in jail get a lot of things. You can get your teeth fixed. You can get lots of things done in
Yes.
prison.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can.
Well, that's
There's
fucking
a lot
sad.
of amenities to them, but it also takes working the system, right? Like
I'm off to the nearest 7-Eleven, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a case of a guy who, again, they're always trying to, like, I see how, like, the guys will do things. Well, they'll throw a fit to be put in solitaire because they don't want to deal with stuff going on. You know, there are guys who will feign being sick in order to get time on a certain ward because there's less restriction. Like they know how to work the system in and out from prison. That's kind of part of prison life, is learning the system in order to survive and use it to your maximum benefit. You know, get the most enjoyable positions and the best work duties and stuff like that. So they know it inside and out. This is just a really unique case of a guy going like, well, might as well go for broke.
You think our local penitentiary would let us do a podcast in there?
I mean, if we get arrested.
I actually don't want to go there. I know one of the women who are a guard there, and I think she would just keep me in a cell. And
I know a few people that work out there.
I know a couple of guys that are guards there. Shout out to Troy Mount Stevens.
Yeah, no, just name drop them all. Just put their names out in public.
That's really the only one I can remember the name of.
All right. What do we got?
Okay, well,
Sunshine?
So speaking of crooks, boys, since we've come to the end of the show here, where I had a fan of the show. Well, I shouldn't say a fan, a buddy of mine that is starting to listen to the show. Hopefully we'll make him a fan soon. He wanted us to pose the question for the viewer suggestion. All these ad sites that are on the internet, you know, Used Regina, Kijiji, Facebook selling groups and such. A lot of people go on there and they offer things out for free. You know, they just want you to come and get rid of it for them, you know, whether it be a couch or a pair, or, you know, a set of tires or something like that. Now, there's a big group of people who get really ticked off at something people do when they see something free. They will go to the person's house and pick it up and then immediately take it home, place it back on the exact same site for $50 or 20 or whatever. And what my friend Roger wanted me to pose the question was, is that a scumbag move, or is it just taking an opportunity and running with it?
Yes and no. It's
okay. Explain.
It can be a very scummy move, 100%. Mm-hmm. So if you're talking about something that is a necessity in life for somebody, say, who is in a bad situation, they have to start over. They were in a bad relationship, they got out of, they're starting fresh. If it's something that they need, something household, you know, pots, pans, plates, cutlery, maybe some shitty furniture even. I mean, something low level that people would give away. Your grandma's couch, that's that kind of crushed velvet, brownie, floral pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. If you're taking that out of the hands of people who could actually use it, yeah, you're kind of a dick. Now, that being said, if you're, say, picking up a laptop that somebody's getting rid of because it doesn't work anymore and you know how to fix it,
mm-hmm. and
then you go back and sell it because all you had to do was charge the fucking thing, that's a luxury item. Fair game.
Okay, that's fair. So, Josh, what about you? Do you think that's a scumbag move, or do you think that's just, if somebody's giving it away for free and I can sell it, why not?
I think it's a morality sense. If you are not hurting for cash, whatever, you're just trying to make a quick buck off somebody else's generosity, kind of a shitty thing to do. But
what if you are hurting? What if, say, you're living paycheck to paycheck? You see a couch that you might be able to sell for $100.
At the end of the day, all is fair. And when it comes to
all's fair in love and
a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I'm a hustler because I could do shit like that." But there's also guys on there
nowadays.
Fuck our salesman slimy.
Yeah. Well, I've met my fair share of slimy salesmen on my day.
Shady,
but I see what you guys are saying, and yes, I agree that it can. I just think if somebody's giving it away for free, it's kind of like you've made that decision. If I can get some money for it, that's not bad. The only way I think it would be kind of scummy is say Chase lent me a computer not that long ago. And if say he had just given it to me, and then once I didn't need it anymore, I tried to sell that would be scummy because we're friends. If it's some guy I don't know on the internet.
What's really scummy is there's actually a couple guys now I've come across on Facebook Marketplace, and it's actually becoming like more and more of a thing. As these people will order these garbage products off like Wish, or they'll go and buy something off Canadian Tire, and then they'll list it on Marketplace for like
twice what they bought it for.
No, they'll list it for like a 25% markup of what they bought it for.
Mm-hmm.
And
that goes back to those fucking like the scalpers with the new gaming consoles.
Yeah.
You know, I bought it for $500. I'm going to sell it to you for $900 because I got a hold of it and you didn't.
Oh, what's big for that is the PS5s and the Xbox. Like I'm a big gamer and they have gone huge on that. And that,
it was
honestly,
ridiculous.
it doesn't really piss me off because I usually wait a long time to buy new gen anyway.
But
it is kind of a scumbag move to buy something for $300 and sell it for fucking 12
grand. And the whole thing that I find really scumbagish is like everything being for sale these days. A lot of people would call it the quote unquote COVID tax, but it's really annoying when you're looking at like anything recreational. Like you look at ATVs, campers.
Fucking campers like now are through the roof.
They're you like these those old bowlers, like those little fiberglass bowlers. They're selling for like 10,000 plus.
I just seen one for $18,000.
Yeah, and then there's, I'm not even kidding, Sunshine. It's like
insane. Well, that's also like the price of plywood's gone way up, but like
400%.
I think if I've always looked at it that way. Like I said, with the whole gaming console thing, I would love to buy a new system right now. And if I found one for a decent price, I would. But, all these guys, they go online because there's a big shortage. They jack up the price. It's no different than when Tickle Me Elmo was a big thing. People bought it and sold it for double. But it doesn't bother me because I'm not going to buy it then. I'm just going to wait. And I don't mind waiting. Whereas these people, if you're a guy who needs to have that, because I have a buddy of mine, he's a big gamer, and he would buy like a PS5 the day it came out. He already has one. He has the Xbox X series or whatever it's called. And he got them both like launch date. And he paid crazy amounts of money for them.
They're like
$700. It's just like, if you're willing to do that, that's the reason these people are doing it, is because people are willing to pay that price.
Which
and
is
it's
unreal.
like, it's scummy, but if somebody's
I want to know who's
twice
paying
what it's
these
worth?
Prices for like overpaying for these things, because it's
people who have the money.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, there's people out there that are ready to burn it.
Even if I have the money for something that has the asking price for what they have, I'm not going to pay double what it's actually worth just to have it.
Exactly. That's my philosophy. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until the stores have enough and the price comes down, and then it's a reasonable price.
I've seen like
like I said, I waited 5 years when the Xbox One was out before I bought it, because I was just like, it's too expensive. And then it came down to like $500. And I was like, sure, I'll buy one for $500.
I bought one on Boxing Day, and it was like a refurbished one. Best Buy had a pallet of them. I was third in line. I think it was 2 years after it came out. Third in line, I walked in. They were right there. I picked one up off the pallet, walked straight to the register. The chick goes, "That was fast." I said, "That's all I need." And then I look at it.
That's how we shop.
Yeah, A, B, C, out the door. But that's the thing. Like, and then I looked at it afterwards. I'm like, refurbished? What the hell? Never had an issue with it, other than I burnt the power supply to it just recently, which apparently is a big thing with those Xboxes. But
is it?
Yeah, fucking AC adapters.
Well, and that's another thing too with next gen stuff. I never like to buy it when it first comes out, because one, it's overpriced, and two, they usually have the most bugs, until they make new runs of stuff. But
look at the 360, the original with the hard drive that sat on top.
Oh God, I missed that one when they came with their own hard drive.
Yeah, nerds.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm a nerd. Deal with it. Okay, boys. So I think we can all agree that it can be scummy. It depends on the situation. Like I think if somebody gets a couch out of somebody's way and goes and sells it online for a little more, it's not a big deal. If it's from somebody you know, or if somebody's doing you a favor, or if you even say you talk the guy down from asking $20 for it,
Speaking
and then
of favors,
down to free, and then went and sold it, that's scummy.
I'm going to throw a shout out right now to, if there are any of our 6 listeners that want to donate an old camper to the cause, we are definitely open for it. Or
we promise we won't sell it.
No, we want to make a mobile studio out of it. So anybody who has an old beat up camper,
we're going to start a GoFundMe page. It's called Wrecked Rooms OnlyFans. It's going to be a lot of me in a thong.
Let's just start selling. We should just start selling a product and take a commission off of it.
Yeah, we should get into something that everybody likes.
Yeah.
Like alcohol or coffee or something.
Why not?
All right, boys. Okay, and I think with that, we're going to wrap this one up, boys. It was a pretty quick one. I think everybody's really excited to, once these COVID restrictions get lifted, we're actually going to be able to start doing this in person again, boys. That's what I'm looking for.
Stop this video bullshit where it's all clippy and glitchy.
This video stuff is great.
Well, we'll still have video, but we just won't have this kind of video.
Well, this is different because we appreciate everybody putting up with the whole, it's just not the same quality. It's better when you're in a room with each other. You can feed off. It's just nice to actually, and I'm looking forward to seeing you fucking ugly son of a bitches. So it would be nice. So we'll have to have a few drinks and actually the real podcast together. But I think this was a success again. This is we're still getting rolling here.
And don't forget to give us a follow on Facebook. Give us a follow on Spotify. Give us
like and subscribe on YouTube. We're still looking to get that 1,000 subscribers. We're only about 980 away. So, I mean, we're right there.
We also need, and if you're going to add us on YouTube, make sure to ring that notification bell so you can tell when we have our new one uploaded. Yep. And we are now on Instagram. I just made us an account, so we're ready for that.
We have an Instagram account? Ooh. Yeah. No, I'm definitely making pictures.
That is like that is the fakest surprised look ever I've ever seen you do.
I didn't know we had an Instagram account. I'm honestly surprised.
I don't know how to run Instagram.
I'm a bit of a character, Josh. I like to act. Act up.
Act out.
You do you, buddy.
Act out, whatever. Okay, boys. Well, I think this was a good one. Everybody, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Give us any comments, any suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about on the next one. And we hope you had a good time getting wrecked. Have a good night, guys.